You guys know about Radio Valencia? Are you aware? Quite possibly the finest radio station west of East Rutherford, New Jersey. Radio Valencia, 87.9 and RadioValencia.fm. Folks, today is 420, and it means, you know, people like to get seriously spaced out. Always the big spaced out thing on 420. People are generally pretty spacey, but this guy that's going to come up right now, this guy that's going to come up on stage in just a moment, what? This guy, talk about spacey, talk about spaced out. Okay. This guy is, he probably inhales a whole lot of that tile setting glue stuff that he's working with all the fucking time, right? But he's going to tell you stories that are going to absolutely, completely, seriously. Let me just say, if you're still awake at the end of that presentation, we got a really good show for you. So coming up right about this time is a dear friend of ours who's going to give us this big talk about space and the cosmos, and talk about things that really are going to boggle your mind, and you're going to grin, and you're going to go, okay, this is great. When is this part of the show over? And we're talking about our fabulous friend, Pete Goldie. Where's Pete? Pete, where are you? Science. Pete Goldie. God damn it.
Where's the guy?
Hi, Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Hi, John Hill. Hi, Pete Goldie.
Is he a bag man?
Where's my video? Do it live, Pete. You don't need a video. You can strip right here. Nobody's going to care. Most people won't look.
Not true, no. No stripping.
The lights don't work either, Pete. You're the technician.
Is this part?
The switch.
Is this part of the act?
Wait.
This is quite possibly the most exciting part of Pete's act. Right here.
Why you gotta diss it like that?
Because I love him.
Oh, hi, John Hill.
Oh, hi, Pete Goldie.
Hi.
That's the end.
Oh, by the way, I have a question. Is anyone? I can't see the audience. Is there anyone here?
Best part of the night.
How many people here came using one of these small lobby cards here? How many people showed up here?
Raise your hand.
This specific small lobby card to get free admission with this lobby card. How many people used the lobby card to come here with this? No one?
No.
I knew that answer, by the way. The reason being is I actually printed out 100 of these lobby cards, and then I went, yesterday I went to all the Google bus stops in the Mission, and went through the long lines at 8 in the morning of all those earnest tech workers ready to go to work, and said, who would like a free show, a free ticket to a show, comedy improv, here in the Mission, Saturday night? Who would want a card to get in there free? And I confronted, accosted, or threatened 100 tech workers. And I gave away 3 of these. And apparently none of those 3 are here tonight. And still, it's a full audience. That's marketing, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Can anyone see this image? I put this image together. This is a brand new Hubble picture of the Horsehead Nebula. Yeah, somebody said that almost loud enough that you could hear Michael Pepe speaking over that person saying Horsehead Nebula.
Oh my God!
That's Photoshop.
And yes, actually everything that NASA does is Photoshop. I'm glad somebody yelled that out rudely. But yes, it has to be Photoshop. Every camera that almost every camera that they send up there is a black and white camera. And they're higher resolution. That's just the nature of physics, ladies and gentlemen. This is a beautiful picture of Horsehead Nebula. I'd like to point out that's in the Orion constellation, right off the belt of Orion. You've probably seen movies where that was mentioned.
Yeah.
Or maybe even once looked up in the sky and saw the 3 stars there, the Orion's belt. Anyway, it's also, if you're actually more of an astronomer, it's called Barnard 33. And if you're around 5 million years from now, it's gone, dissipating, just drifting away.
More of an astronomer?
5 more years to go. That's right. All right, let's get into some more interesting pictures than this beautiful picture. There you're looking at the twin spacecraft of the Grail mission of Round Moon. The Grail mission was the Gravity Recovery and Interior Laboratory, and they sent 2 spacecraft orbiting the poles of the moon And while they were doing that, they were monitoring how far away they were from each other and the Earth. By doing that, they were able to map subtle changes in the gravity as they flew over the entire moon, not planet, moon of Earth. And the next image is the map of the result from that. Look at this. You can actually see what happens is when a crater lands on the moon, it gets a sort of a magnetic lump in the middle of them. But I'm not showing you these to just amaze you at more photoshopping and colors that are produced synthetically from numbers that come off of these spacecraft.
Are those gravitational anomalies mascons?
What is that voice? Is that Hal speaking to me?
Yes, it is I.
Wow.
Isn't it true that there are gravitational irregularities, concentrations of mass beneath the lunar surface?
That's absolutely right, Hal
The
Robbins.
disembodied voice of Dr. Hal. If it is 420, that shit looks good, man.
Man, it's amazing. Yes, in fact, if you look here at the bottom of the map around here, this is called the Atkin Basin, and that is one of the biggest mascons. When that hit, it actually, whatever happened down there, caused something on the other side to deform. What? So that, yeah. It actually works that way.
It's happened to us in the past.
The moon is connected from one side to the other.
Freaking me out, man.
By moon.
Is this on the quiz?
Skull and Booker.
Well,
Everything's on the quiz.
halfway through this is the midterm, by the way. So, what I want to show you, though, is going to be an animation. We're going to actually show you what happens when they're done with mission. End of mission is they took these twin spacecraft and they ran them right into, yes, the moon.
What?
What? And you're going to see a crater form right here.
That's
All of a
a
sudden, bam, there it is. Yeah, that's Grail A. That is Grail A, which was actually named Ebb. The other one, we're going to show the other one now. Ready for this? Grail B, Flow. Ebb and flow. Oh, thank you.
You mean they sent that arrow to Mars?
They sent that arrow to the moon and then landed right next to it. An amazing achievement of NASA. Thank you very much. Now I would like to bring your attention to another very exciting mission in Mars.
You said exciting.
Mars. Before I show you the data from this mission, I want to show you something about EDL. EDL, when you're going to Mars or other planets, for a lander is entry, descent, and landing. This is a cartoon depicting the EDL sequence for this lander that landed on Mars. As you see, the parachute comes out, retros fire, another retro fires, and the back shell separates, and the lander comes down, lands, bounces on the surface, and then opens up. That's the cartoon of it.
Is that like a erectile dysfunction for Mars rover?
Hal, can you interrupt me?
Well, some of us did too much EDL in the 60s. Wah.
Now, the reason I'm showing you this is there's a certain resemblance to a recent mission that NASA mounted, which was called the Curiosity rover, where they used retro rockets and parachutes and back shells and landed it on the surface, and it worked fantastically. It was just like that. Except this one was done by the
Russians.
Former Soviet Union, not Russians.
Well, all right, Soviets.
Yes, the Soviets. The Soviets did this mission almost 42 years ago.
Didn't they just find their rocket that landed?
Yes, it landed and it stopped working after 15 seconds, but we just saw it, didn't we, Pete?
We could do this show without you, Pete.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Next two pictures. Oh yeah, there it is on the surface, an artist's rendering. They're of the lander called Mars 3.
Looks like a tick.
They created 3 Mars missions. In 1971, they launched them. And
Well, soapy water will get that right out.
the first one was actually a failure, it didn't get off the ground. Second one, crash landed. The third one landed successfully. That was the first successful soft landing on Mars done by the Soviet Union.
Orosho.
And it landed
That's
there.
what she said.
Now, again, here you see the retros firing. Anyway, in this wonderful high-resolution projection and LCD projector here in the darkroom, you can see they have found, using a NASA satellite around Mars called HiRes, or the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, a camera called HiRes. This is the retro pack that slowed it down. This is the lander right here. Pretty sure about that. Was this found by Americans who run the American NASA Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter? No. This was found by Russians.
No way!
Yes, we share our data with everyone.
Why should we
including
care?
Russians. And the Russians said, let's find our lander. So they looked carefully over certain pictures, and they had
Is that your
was.
Russian impersonation?
No, that was actually my bureaucratic NASA impersonation of sharing with that. And
I see. That's
Yeah.
really bad.
I know.
Okay.
I can't do other impersonations as well. Anyway, here they are. They found it. Next picture, please. Not only did they find it, and this one, they found the parachute to it. They found the retro pack, they found the lander. And it's a nice line pattern, as you'd expect, because the back shell goes further, the heat shield goes further, the lander would be in the middle, and the parachute, of course, slows down.
And it's all been lying there for how long?
Almost 42 years.
And it hasn't even moved. The parachute is still lying.
The parachute is still there, nice, round, white thing. They're pretty darn sure what they have there. That is a parachute. There's not a lot of parachutes on Mars.
It's a shade structure.
There are a handful. There's probably about a dozen parachutes on Mars. But they found this one that's been there for the longest of all of them. And I think that's quite an achievement to find that after all this time.
Quite a shoot.
You know what else they found recently, parachute-wise, on Mars? Next image, please. This is the parachute from the Curiosity rover. And if you watch the animated GIF, it is blowing in the wind. It's been there 8 months since it landed last August, and it will be there at least 41 more years, blowing in the wind until it's taken a picture of it by...
It's an art installation.
Yeah, that's right. That's your shade structure when we get there. There's more interesting stuff happening on Mars. There's something coming soon. You're going to see it. An amazing thing coming. This small fuzzy dot, enlarged here to a slightly larger but still fuzzy dot, is a comet.
But isn't this a catastrophe?
Yes. Take off this part here, there.
That's good.
Okay, catastrophe. I have the word right here. There it goes.
Oh, well.
There we go. Thank you, Hal. I'm enjoying this interaction. What's actually happening is this comet is going to come very close to Mars. There was a point at calculations a few months ago. They thought a chance existed that it would, in fact, impact Mars. It's large enough, it would have been a planetary, what's that word again?
Catastrophe.
Yeah, catastrophe. It's on this little scrap here.
It's horrible.
Now they know that it's only going to be about 68,000 miles from Mars. That's pretty darn close. I'll show you how close in a beautiful graphical animation. Watch closely as it approaches.
See, here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, it went right by Mars. Oh, there's Mars, the Mars orbiter. Oh, now we're going backwards. Time is reversing. Oh, the comet is going back out into the Netherlands. And it's reversing and it's going to come. It's going to hit Mars again.
No, it's just a red dot. Anyway, it's going to go very close. 68,000 miles is pretty much a bullseye when it comes to things.
A bullseye's like hitting it, dude.
No cigar.
I'm sorry. 68,000 miles, like, oh, wow, what's that thing way over there? I don't know.
Right. The reason they spot it is a comet, meaning it has a coma around it of dust and water and ice floating around it, little particles, maybe some pebbles, and all these things. Well, as it gets closer, the coma gets bigger because it heats up from the energy of the sun. And the coma, by the time it reaches Mars, will probably be the size of your typical coma of a typical comet of that size.
Can't wait.
It's going to be about 100,000 miles in diameter.
All this is reminding me of all those guys with the saggy nuts at Harbin I saw for the past few days, and it's not exciting me, I'm sorry.
The coma will hit Mars.
That's what he kept saying to me, too. I'm like, dude, I'm not interested.
The comet will not strike, but the coma will strike. And what speed will it strike at?
It will strike at much faster than a bullet, much faster than two bullets going side by side holding hands. It's going to go
lash.
It's going to go about, I'd say on the order of about 70,000 miles per hour.
That's fast.
Very fast, yes. And we have certain assets in orbit around Mars, and Mars doesn't have much of an atmosphere. So a pebble actually could go through the atmosphere. A grain of sand off of that comet could go through our orbiting satellites, some of those that take the beautiful pictures of parachutes frequently for our enjoyment here at the Ask Dr. Hal show. So some of our satellites also will have a chance to take photographs of it, but it's not as easy as you think. You can't just sit there with your cell phone and catch everything by swinging it around.
Probably not mine.
No, those satellites were designed to look down, not up. And if you turn them to make them look up, they get a little bit disoriented. They really don't have the software to do that. In fact, they would fight it. Their software would say, don't make me look up. And it would fire its thrusters and reorient its solar panels and go into safe mode. So they're thinking about how can we actually turn those things around and get those magnificent photographs before they're destroyed by the coma.
How?
That. I don't know. We'll have our top scientists, our top rocket scientists, work on this one.
I'm afraid it's far away and there's nothing we can do.
How about a Brazilian astronaut?
Just like that guy behind the soundstage.
But maybe the electronics will
nothing I can
survive the coma strike. Do you think they could survive?
It would be like being sandblasted with a machine gun.
Well, you might survive that.
Yes, I
It
know.
wouldn't help you any.
If you're quick about it, it would be fine.
You wouldn't have any body hair left.
Yes.
Like that Brazilian guy.
Next
A
image.
wax job.
There's something
Won't
else.
leave me
here.
alone. It's pissing me off.
As you know, there's also another great satellite up there that's staring at one part of the sky near the constellation Cygnus, the Swan. And that's the Kepler mission looking for exoplanets, and it's finding them left and right. It's got about 1,000 exoplanets already identified.
Water worlds.
And every time they need to get some more funding.
That was a terrible movie.
Has anyone noticed all this marijuana on the desk here? By the
It's
way?
420. Everybody has it all in the room, right? Everybody! Not only is the show free, but, you know, afterwards.
Just leave that there.
Surprising. I'm surprised here. Anyway, the Kepler mission has found...
Sit down, Pepe.
Pepe, you're way too close to me. Way too close. Michael Pepe, sit down.
Do not approach the Pete Goldie.
The Kepler mission has identified the closest thing resembling an Earth-like system. In other words, they're getting close to the size of Earth. Earth here is that. It's the one labeled Earth. And you can see by this relative scale model in this cartoon what the Kepler 62 system of 62F, E, D, C, and B, of which F and E are within the so-called habitable zones of that star, where they might have liquid water, and who knows.
Of course, you'd weigh
Flying
40%
dinosaurs.
more. Isn't that right? You'd be 40% heavier on this planet.
How much oxygen? They have oxygen on that planet? Come on.
They
Help
Is
us
there
out.
air? You don't know.
Pete,
Let him do his
they
show.
might have oxygen on those planets. They might have liquid water on those planets.
Don't lead us in the wrong direction.
They may have mosses, molds, and fungi on those planets. We really don't know all this stuff.
They have hot springs?
Time will tell.
All right.
And if they have hippies, we will immediately not go there.
Bombs
I want to
and
take a
air.
moment here because there's some other important stuff. As you know, coming to the next image, it is an important date today in space history because this is an important spaceman. Birthday was today. Next image, please. The most important space person of all, of course, astronaut A. Hitler, the visionary, the explorer, the mass murderer, the first man on the moon.
If
Everyone
you've
knows
seen
that.
Iron Sky,
It's true. Iron Sky. See that documentary which will reveal to you the truth behind the Nazi space program. But again, let's go through these quick pictures of our space hero. He invented the rainbow space sled. Everyone knows that. He also he tamed the flying giant space gecko. Everyone knows that. It's written in legend, chiseled in stone. And of course, he defeated the giant space lobster. Until finally he was captured by the
I know that
Boston
guy.
Space Police and taken away in handcuffs. But speaking of space, Hitler, I'd like to point out in the next image that Obama's NASA budget is absolutely
No.
horrible. Yes.
True.
What has this Obama person done to NASA? I'll tell you what he's done. First of all, I used to get this question a lot from someone, the Dungeon Master, used to run this show a long time ago. Remember him? Okay.
Yeah.
Here is
can
the
still spell
federal
him.
budget. Here is health, medicine, whatever, Medicare.
They can't see that.
Social Security, defense, social something else, income security, other. This tiny red slot here is NASA. $17 billion. Next image, please. More important than that, where are they going to cut the money? They're cutting it from planetary space science. Or basically the Pete Goldie bit at the Ask Dr. Hal show.
Oh, yay! Army boo.
They're taking this to that, down to that. That's not a cool thing. They're not going to have any free giveaways anymore. They're not going to have all these Kepler things. They're not going to start new missions. They're going to shut down missions that are going on, such as Messenger, the orbiter around Mercury at this time, functioning beautifully, returning data. They're going to turn off the switch to that one. They're going to probably shut down Kepler. They're going to probably shut down about half of those if Obama's budget goes through.
So
one of the things they spend money on
what do they got then? What
are
do
these
they got?
plastic bags. There won't be any more of these plastic NASA bags. Or the stuff in it that I used to hand out to all people who were nice to me at the Ask Dr. Hal show. Yes, that's right. All these mission stickers. This mission hasn't even started yet. Forget it. Who wants it? Don't need it.
I do.
It's not going anywhere. Here's a mission. Oh, look at this. Yeah, this is a multi-mission, a lot of different countries. Forget it. Not going to happen. Swap. This is the soil moisture active. Not going to happen.
Moisture?
No. This is the Fermi Gamma Ray Observatory. It's already up there. I'm going to keep this one. There, we're going to keep this. Mini RF, not going to happen. All of these things. Because you go to these things, oh, Curiosity sticker. Well, that's on Mars. They're going to, you know what they're going to do? They're going to sell the wheels off it. That's my daughter. She's already got one of the 6. That's basically what happens if you cut off the NASA budget. They cut down a little bit of everything, and I'm going to keep this NASA sticker here for my daughter.
That's
the only stuff I've got. Bye.
Sorry, Big Goldie, ladies and gentlemen. They promised me a freaking jetpack, man. Where's my house on the moon? I mean, really, don't you guys remember that? Don't you remember watching those shows back in the day? Remember Space 1999? Remember that show? And you remember that when you just knew, that day was going to come, 1999, like, yes, I'm going to be there with all of you. I think I was at a non-salon, and that's about as spacey as it got that night.